Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rise Up. I'm your host, Aaliyah Orozco, and I'm so happy you guys are here today. Today's episode is sponsored by G Squad Entertainment. They have a fight quickly approaching October 12th at the Stockton Arena. So if you guys are in the area, make sure you get your tickets for that fight. Today's episode is going to be a great one as I'm joined with a very special guest. He's a two-time world champion and the new IBF Featherweight Champion, the one and only Angelo Leo. Angelo, how are you? How does that feel? Hearing those words, the new IBF Featherweight Champion.
It feels great. It's something that I've been looking forward to hearing for, ever since I fought for my last world title. So I'm very excited, and I'm very just words can't describe how I feel right now. Cause
you're like on a mountaintop moment right now.
It's a dream come true.
How did you celebrate with your family after that, or what was that like?
We didn't really celebrate too much right after. We just went out to the restaurant, go eat and stuff like that. But after that, they made me like a barbecue and all that.
What did it mean to you, though, too, to also like have such a spectacular performance, but it also be in your hometown?
Yeah, it meant the world, because it being in my hometown, I had to show out. I had to prove and also prove to the people what kind of fighter I am and what kind of caliber I'm at. So, I had a lot of pressure on me, but true champions can rise to the occasion and deal with that pressure accordingly.
Completely. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and joining me. I was so excited when I found out that I got to have this interview with you. I'm super interested because I feel like you have an underdog tale, especially because you weren't even ranked in ESPN's featherweight and now you are. Like, that's huge. So do you feel like you were kind of overlooked going into this fight? I
think so. I think I was a little overlooked by just a lot of people. I was like I was a 5-1 underdog. Vinalo had been talking about unifying the division after me fighting fighting Oscar Valdez, and so I felt a little disrespected there, but it fueled me. I know it's part of the game. I understand where he's coming from. You want big fights, you want the big paydays and all that, but I think you got to focus on what you have in front of you first.
Have you, like, throughout your life felt like you've been overlooked in other situations too? Or was this kind of like the first time in boxing that you really experienced this?
I think so in life, and I think it actually motivates me.
Really?
Some people, it might bring them down and all that, but for me, I thought it motivated me.
You're like, I want to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I got that mindset.
I love it. What was that moment like for you?
To be honest, it just happened so fast. Yeah, it happened so fast. Like, when it first happened, I thought I was exchanging with them, but it wasn't. It was the referee broke us up, and then he let the action continue, and then I just stepped in with the left hook and caught him right on the money.
But you said before we hopped on here that this training camp was different than any others. Talk to me a little bit more about that and why, because you obviously saw that in the ring.
I had a head start in my training camp. We usually do a 2-month training camp. This time around we did 3 months. And I added a lot of stuff to my training, my strength and conditioning. Was more consistent with everything, so I think it all paid off in the end.
Are you going to keep doing that, like, moving forward? Like, do you think that extra month was kind of like really beneficial?
Oh yeah, for sure. If it helped me this fight and I look good doing it, then why not?
Completely. And how do you feel now? Like, I mean, I just want you to enjoy it all, but do you want to stay in this division for some time? Are you looking to become undisputed, unified? Do you have your eyes on, like, other divisions? There's just so many ways you can go now with the position you're in. Congratulations again.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, the main goal for me, like I tell everyone, is to win those world titles. I like those titles, and I want to win those as much titles as I can. So unify the division for me would be the ideal plan.
Do you feel like so much more confident in yourself now being a 2-time world champion? Because already, of course, the first time that was probably like such a huge moment. But now it's like...
Yeah. I think this time around, like it's signed, sealed, and delivered pretty much. Yeah, that's how I feel. The first time around, people could be like, oh, well, his first time, might have been a fluke, this and that. But this time around, there's no doubt.
No, completely on that. So I have to know, a little bit more about like your early life to how you got to this point right now in your life of being world champion. What really brought you into the sport of boxing?
I'd have to say my dad. Yeah, my dad is the one that introduced me to boxing. First, he put me in soccer.
Okay.
And then he put me in karate.
Do you have any soccer and karate moves?
I know how to kick a ball. That's about it.
Can you do can you do like a header or any of those cool tricks?
No, not really like that. But I always liked it. I wasn't really good at it, but I liked it.
You liked it, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was in karate for a little bit. But I don't think I was into it as much as I was boxing. So when my dad put me into boxing, he took me to the boxing gym. It kind of just stuck with me and it kind of grew onto me. And ever since then, you know, he would bring home boxing magazines, like Ring magazines and all this other stuff. And then we start watching boxing together, like on HBO and all that. And I grew a love. What do you say? I grew to love the sport.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. How old were you when like all this was going on?
I was around 8 or 9.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
So at first, was it kind of like a hobby for you and your dad?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
To kind of bond, like you said, watching, like all of that.
Yeah, it was. It was like a hobby at first, and then the boxing gym that he took me to was also a community center.
Okay.
So at the same time, you know, I was out there playing with my friends at the community center. Then I would go to the boxing gym. So it was kind of like best of both worlds, pretty much.
So what was that moment when you were a kid then? Once you knew, like, okay, we're gonna keep taking this further. I'm gonna do the amateurs.
I think like 2 or 3 months into my boxing training, that's when they started mentioning like, oh, you want to fight? And then I was like, yeah, I'm all for it. And then that's when they got me, like a month later, they got me my first amateur boxing fight.
So it was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Yeah, it was real quick.
And then once you had your first fight, like, how did you feel after that? Is that when you said, like, you started to love the sport? Yeah. Would you say you started to really love the sport, like, in your amateur career?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, especially because I was, like, 5-0 as a pro. I mean, as an amateur. Yeah, and I started, like, winning. And so I got confident in my abilities. So I was like, you know, I'm going to stick with this. So
then you're in the amateurs. What was that defining moment of, like, okay, I'm going to use this to... Like, this is the way I'm going to make money. I'm going to be a professional boxer, and this is going to be my career.
Yeah. I know it was pretty early. I was probably like 10 or 11 years old when I was like, wow. You know, I had big dreams of becoming a world champion and all that.
So you already had the vision.
Yeah.
Like, you saw yourself where you're at currently right now?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
How does that feel, though? Like, I feel like that's always, like, such a surreal moment when you've thought of something and then it actually happens.
It is. It's crazy. It's like, because I used to just always envision myself and imagining myself as a world champion when I was young, and here I am now. So I mean, it's an amazing feeling. What
would you say has really been like the key to your success in getting you there? Like, have you had to do a lot of self work or like self belief, manifestation? Is it your church? Like, what is it that has kept you going to get to this point of being this successful in the sport?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. You know, first you want a good support team. You know, you want a good support team. I was blessed to have my dad in my corner and always to be right there, giving me that extra push, that extra confidence. Also believing in myself as well, because at the end of the day, you got to believe in yourself.
So true.
You know. Everyone can believe in you and say you're this and that, but you got to believe in yourself at the end of the day. Also, prayer too. I prayed a lot. You know, I have a relationship with God, so you know, I think that's the reason why. Completely.
When you say self-belief, have you always had that self-belief, or have you ever, I guess, had issues with doubt or negative self-talk, and how have you overcame that to be this confident now? Because I think that's another huge aspect of boxing. Like, getting in that ring, you have to be so sure of yourself, you know?
Yeah. I think, I wasn't always, you know, a confident kid growing up, because I wouldn't say like a rough childhood, but I didn't have, it wasn't the best either. I didn't have the best confidence, but one thing I did have was that, like, I'll show you mentality, you know, and I think that's what got me through. And, But with boxing, it helped me gain that confidence and gain self-confidence in myself in other aspects of my life.
So were you more like timid growing up or more shy, or were you like a very, I guess, out there talkative type of kid, you know?
I was more shy.
Shy?
Yeah, I was shy, but like if you talk to me enough, I would open up to you, and you know, I'm a jokester, so I make a lot of jokes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What has been the greatest thing that boxing has taught you thus far in your life, and what have you really learned about yourself from being in the sport?
To respect people.
That's a good one.
To respect people, because you got to respect your opponent in the boxing ring as well. You know, they got two hands just like you got two hands. And any given day, you know, you could get beat if you get too big-headed, if you think you're all that, and same for them.
Completely.
Yeah.
So did your life change like really fast then once you became professional? Like having all those eyes on you, that attention, you being on television screens now, social media, like there's a lot of pressure, I think today even more than ever. So what was that like for you, and how do you deal with that? Deep, you guys.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah, this is deep right here. Because I had a rough start to my career.
Okay, why?
Just like we didn't have a manager, so it was very tough for my career to, you know, be steady. So I would have like a year, like I wouldn't fight for a year. You know, 2 years would go by, like a year and a half would go by, and it was a little tough in that aspect. It wasn't too crazy, but I did, you know, I was making some noise in Albuquerque because I did turn pro. But after that, like after my 5th fight, I didn't really get a lot of fights like consistently, so it was a little tough and frustrating. Yeah. But you know, when I moved here to Vegas in 2017, that's when my career actually started taking off, and I started fighting more consistently. People started to know who I was.
So the move really helped that then. Was the move hard though, like leaving everything you knew and your family and your comfort zone, or no, you were like ready to go to Vegas and try to make this happen?
Yeah, I was ready. I was ready to go because you know, we're having such a tough time out there in Albuquerque getting fights. So, but yeah, it was hard because I had all my family out there and all that. But you know, first things first is to focus on my career, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
That's probably what they want for you too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what would you say then was like your turning point in your professional career? Because like you said, like you're 5 fights in, it's kind of hard in the beginning, but where was that shift?
I think when I became world champion. Yeah, that's when everyone knew who I was. As far as the boxing community, everyone pretty much knew who I was.
Yeah. What has been the most rewarding part of all of this? Because I know it's like your complete lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to say last weekend.
You guys.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd have to say last weekend, because it meant so much for me to win this world title in front of my hometown. You know, after a 2-year layoff, not fighting. You know, so it was that time of my career was very frustrating, and I wasn't able to fight. So I had a lot of pent-up aggression on this fight around. Yeah.
Was there a reason why you had to take a 2-year layoff? Did you just have to work through some things?
No, I just we had some promotional issues. You know, promotional issues, inactivity, being one. But you know, we got it squared away at I think at the end of 2022, and then that's when I was able to sign with ProBox at the end of 2023.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. Are you still with them right now, or who are you signed to?
Yeah, I'm signing with ProBox. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what has that been like for your career?
Oh, it's been great. You know, like I said, I had a 2-year layoff, and they were able to get me 3 fights in 5 months.
Wow,
yeah,
in 5 months? Wait, like you fought 3 times in 5 months, or they just planned 3 fights in 5 months?
No, I fought 3 times in 5 months. Yeah, looking back at it, I fought my first fight in November, and then I think 5 months later, I had 3 fights already.
So were you just like in the gym the whole time then for 5 months?
Pretty much. Like after my fights, I would just take a week off, and then we were back at it.
Have you always had that discipline, or where has that really came from?
I think just, you know, always wanting to be the best. You know, you kind of develop that discipline, because if you don't have discipline, it'll show in sparring. You'll get whooped up. You know, you'll get beat up in sparring. So that'll teach you real quick to start training harder.
Stay consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of sparring, What has been one of the best sparring sessions you've had of just you gained a lot of experience from being around them, or they taught you something, made you a better fighter?
Yeah, I think one of my best experiences would have to be sparring Nonito Donaire.
Nonito, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love Nonito. Why?
He just has a lot of experience under his belt. He has a lot of experience. He's really cool. He's easy to talk to. And we did a lot of rounds together. And he's taught me a lot.
And what do you want, like, out of your boxing career? Like, does legacy matter to you?
I think legacy does matter. I think legacy matters, and to be financially stable as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know, because I saw that you had a son recently. He's a year old?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations on that, too. He's so cute.
Thank you.
What has that been like? And has now being a father motivated you even more now stepping into the ring, like gave you more heart to fight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a like a different motivation for sure. I wasn't expecting to have this type of motivation when I had a son, but yeah, you want the best, and I want him to see that I was a world champion and to be a good role model for him.
That's amazing. What if your son tells you down the line that he wants to box, or are you gonna let him? Do you want him to be a boxer, or how do you feel about it?
That's a tough question, because I know how it is to be in that ring. Those punches hurt, and I don't know how my dad does it, seeing me get punched and all that. So, but if he wants to box, I'll go ahead and allow him to. But I'm gonna tell him, you make sure you put 100% into the sport, because it's a gritty sport, and you can get hurt. You can get seriously injured if you don't take it seriously.
No, completely. And what would be your message for people who maybe also might be the underdog of their being overlooked, or they don't have that confidence in themselves yet, to kind of have that breakthrough that now you have?
Yeah.
Like, if you could go back and tell your younger self some advice, what would you tell him?
I would just tell him, just be yourself. Be yourself, and believe in yourself. That's very important, to believe in yourself. But a lot of people are gonna doubt you. A lot of people can make fun of you and all that. But be yourself, and people will gravitate towards you. You could lose, but you could pick yourself up and just keep going.
I love that, Angelo. So now I have to know, because, what do you like to do when you're not boxing? Like, what is a day in the life of Angelo and not in the gym?
Ooh. That's a good question. I like to eat. Yeah, I love food, so I like to eat. I like my desserts. I like to go, try new places to eat. What else? I like to draw. I like art a lot. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Are you good at drawing?
I'm pretty good. Yeah. I'm real artsy. Yeah.
I'm gonna need to see it after. More like a sketchbook and pencil, or more like colors? I'm like.
Sketchbook.
Really? Do you have a sketchbook?
I do, but it's been a while since I've drawn, but I do have one.
Because you're probably like so busy, like to actually get the time to just like. But that would kind of be like a little hobby of yours.
Yeah. It was actually my first hobby before boxing, was sketching and drawing, because one of my cousins, he was a really big graffiti artist out there in Albuquerque.
Oh, that's
and so he taught me how to draw and all that. And
were you little when he taught you that?
Yeah. I don't think he didn't teach me. He influenced me.
Oh, to like pick it up yourself.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
So we could have saw Angelo the artist. Everybody, that would would that be your other job if you weren't a boxer? Because that's my other question.
Yeah, probably. I would. It would have to be something with art.
Okay. We'll have to go back to the food. It cracks me up, because every time I ask you guys that's like your guys' all your favorite hobbies is to eat. I'm like, that's not a hobby. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. What do you like to eat? Like, what is it? Or like, what's your spots in Las Vegas?
Oh, that's a. Now you put me on the spot.
I know.
I'd have to say I like tacos.
Oh yes, but what type of tacos?
Al pastor, carne asada, everything really.
Where was the best tacos you've ever had?
The best tacos, man, that's a good question.
I really gotta know, because I love tacos too. So I'm like, gotta put that on the map.
I have to say, Mexico and LA.
Okay,
Yeah.
where?
Mexico, I think. Where was it at? I think it was in Chihuahua.
Chihuahua,
in
Mexico.
Chihuahua, Mexico. They have some good tacos there, but LA has some really good ones too.
Where? I live in LA.
Oh man,
Like, where do I
it's,
need to check out?
it's not the big spots. It's just like the little mom and pop shops, the food trucks and all that.
That's what I was gonna ask you even about the Mexico one. Like, it's not actually a restaurant. Like, more like, do you even know when they have like those tents and they're outside, like just like cooking in LA,
yeah.
or even like the food trucks? Like, you know what I mean? It's not like a physical restaurant.
Yeah.
Those ones are always so good. Or when they have like the pastor on the stick thing.
Yeah,
you know?
there you go. You know it's legit when they got that.
No, anytime I see that,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick that one. So what is, I guess, this next month to look for you? Now that you're world champion, are you gonna take some time off? Is there any trips you want to do? Are you already gonna get right back into the gym?
Yeah. I was thinking about going to the gym actually tonight.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm already itching to get back in there. But no, I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a time off, and probably do a little vacation.
Any destinations you're interested in?
Probably Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what island though?
That's a good question.
The good questions, you guys.
The good questions are
If you had to pick one opponent you would like to get in the ring with next,
after my fight, I said Rafael Espinosa. That would be a great fight because I know it's in house with Top Rank, so it'd be easy to make. But I like the WBC belt, so I want that Ray Vargas fight.
well, thank you so much for taking the time. It was a real honor. I loved hearing more about your story. Any last words from the champ? Anything you want to say?
Not really. Just keep supporting. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in for the future. It's gonna be a great thing.
Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and thank you again, Angelo. But stay tuned for next week's episode. Bye.